Okay, good afternoon, students. Today's concept is already we discussed these topics: analog and digital electronic components, I/O types and examples, input-output devices. Already you see from last three classes: serial communication devices, parallel device ports, wireless devices. Okay, I didn't uh, explain that wireless devices, timers and counting devices, watchdog timer, a real-time clock. Okay. Actually, before going to these topics, okay, I want to tell you, okay, in clear about embedded firmware of the first unit. Okay, okay, coming to the embedded systems subject. The not only this is the first unit, not only this is the second unit, third unit, fourth unit, but you have to collectively know all the units as a single subject. Why belongs? Why? Because okay, the basic concept behind this embedded system is it is very compact, okay, and that is very narrow. Okay, just you have to understood what is what here. Okay, that's why I want to tell you. And before going to the remaining topics of the unit 2, I want to clearly explain about embedded firmware. Already you are best aware of embedded firmware, and whatever the program you are used to activate the hardware is the firmware. Okay, see here. Um, here I like it very much. This topic here, embedded firmware. Okay. Whatever you write the program, Arduino C program, to control something, some hardware, to control something, some hardware, um, either output devices or some displays or motors, whatever it may be, a stepper motors or DC motor, okay, whatever it may be, and whatever you write the code to control the external devices is the firmware. Whatever you write the code in the sense instructions. Okay, the embedded firmware that always belongs to controlling algorithm. Okay, there is a program instructions already, or the configuration of the embedded system developer dumps into that code. Okay, and moreover, this is the unavoidable part of any embedded system. Okay. These are the common methods available to embed. Okay, what is the embedded system? Okay, that piece of software is embedded into the hardware to control that specific external peripherals. Okay, whatever we are connected to that uh, module. Okay, these are the common methods available for developing an embedded firmware. Okay, what are they? Okay. And here they consider the example of 8051 microcontroller, but instead of 8051 microcontroller, just consider your Arduino. Okay, and you are best aware of Arduino microcontroller instead of this 8051 microcontroller. That's why consider that Arduino microcontroller, Arduino board. How will you write the code for Arduino board? Simply one Arduino IDE is there, integrated development environment. In that IDE, okay, in that IDE, we have to write the code in Arduino C language. Arduino C language is the compatible for only Arduino board. Okay, that's why we have to write the code in Arduino C, and Arduino C is the somewhat higher level language. Okay, how many of you know assembly language for the Arduino? Okay, if you are able to write the code in assembly level language, then we have to uh, choose the instruction set of whatever microcontroller which is used in that Arduino board. Okay, and the specific syntaxes of those instructions while writing the code. Okay, you have to learn all those concepts. But while doing Arduino C language programming, and with Arduino C language, okay, and in comparison with assembly level language program, okay, C language is the somewhat higher language. I mean high level language. Okay, it doesn't require we have to keep it off that instruction set beside. Okay, Simply if you know the C syntax, okay, that is enough. Okay, moreover it is very convenient, just it contains two parts, while and loop. Okay, and that is the one. Arduino C is the one high level language. That high level language, and in that high level language you are able to write the code in order to control the external IO devices. Okay, that is the first part. That is the one way, and second way is write a program in assembly level language. Okay, first part is somewhat complex, but second part is somewhat easy. Okay, see here, point one, write a program in high level language like embedded wait, okay, embedded C or CPP using IDE. And if you are very convenient with embedded C or embedded C++, you are able to write any you are able to write programming for any microcontroller or any microprocessor. Okay, so IDE, what IDE will contain? Okay, what you are observed in IDE of Arduino? Editor. One display is there where you write the program. Next, compiler. Just you have to upload there. Just you have to upload the code. Okay, that is the compiler. Okay, what is the purpose of the compiler? Compiler is the software program which converts high level language into low level language. That is the compiler. Linker, already I told you, compiler, linker, debugger, and simulator. Okay. It contains an editor. Editor is already, you know, where you write the program. Compiler is the software program which converts high level language into machine level language. Next, linker. Linker, what is the purpose of the linker? Already you see the diagram also. Okay, linker. Okay, what is the purpose of the linker? The name itself indicates it links that library files into main program. Okay, and when we convert that high level language into low level language, under the low level language, we have to interconnect or combine that library files into the main program. This is a linker. Next, debugger. Okay, after linking, we have to check whether is it the program is right or wrong. Is it contains any syntax errors or any systematic errors? Okay, to know those errors, okay, we perform debugging. Okay, and program checking. Next, simulator. Okay, if it all is okay, just you have to simulate. I mean, okay, what we want to do in physical, okay, and before going to that physical implementation, we perform the same in virtual. That is the simulation. Okay, the tool which is used for that purpose is the simulator. Okay, so IDs are different for different family of processor. Already you know. Okay, Arduino is the one domain of embedded system that uses embedded Arduino IDE. Okay, for 8051 microcontroller, we use the platform of Keil, Keil. For 8085 microcontroller, 8085 having individual kit, and 8086 having MASM tool. Already you know, MASM microassembler or turbo assembler. MASM or TASM IDE is there. Okay, for advanced microcontrollers like ARM, Cortex, and ARM series, for entire ARM series, one more tool is there. Of course, Keil is supported for advanced microcontrollers. Some such type of IDEs are there called Eclipse. Eclipse type. Eclipse is one of the IDE for advanced microcontrollers. Okay. Already you know C51 is also you know 8089 C51 series. Okay. There is a specially developer for 8089 C51 microcontroller 8051. Okay. And the second point, write a program in assembly level language using instructions supported to your applications, target processor or controller. Okay. Already you know how to write the assembly language program for 8085 and 8086. I hope. Okay, it is very easy. Okay. And whatever you write the code for hardware controlling, like stepper motor, waveform generation, okay, A to D conversion, D to A conversion. Okay, and all those programs you are able to write in assembly language coding. And whatever you performed the experiments in last semester, okay, 8051 and 8086 hardware experiments. Okay, but those instructions vary with respect to microprocessor or microcontroller and company to company. Okay, uh, microcontroller series to series. Okay, a few instructions are added. The instruction set for each family is different, and the program written in their methods, okay, should be converted into a processor understandable machine code before loading into the program memory. Okay, program memory is nothing but a uh, just a storage element. Okay, how it stores in the form of how it stores in the terms of voltage levels, but in terms of voltage levels, how it identifies in terms of low voltage and high voltage. Low voltage in the sense 0 volts, high voltage in the sense 1 volt. Okay, 0 volt and 1 volt in format, it is able to store the data. Okay, and whatever you write the code, finally that is converted into zeros and ones. That zeros and ones are stored in the transistors, the transistor on and off positions. Okay, that's why processor understandable machine code, that machine code is nothing but hex code. Hex already you know what is the hex code. Okay, alphanumeric code before loading it into the program memory. Okay, why? Because why I choose this topic today is this is very much important, and you have to learn something from this topic and from today's concept. Okay, this is the process. Okay, what we actually perform, the process converting a program written in high level language into low level language, already you know. Okay, and finally it creates a hex file, .hex format, that is called hex file creation. Okay, the methods used for hex file creation is different depending upon the programming language. Okay, and programming techniques. Okay, and when you are writing the code in assembly level language, you have to convert that assembly language into machine level language or .hex format. Okay, we need to there is a necessity of converting that assembly language into hex format. Is it requires assembler. Assembler is the one again software tool that converts assembly level language into machine language. Okay, and depending upon the programming techniques, okay, hex file creation is varied. See here, the program is written in embedded C or CPP with an IDE. The cross compiler included in the IDE to converts into corresponding processor controller understandable format. Okay, and C language or CPP language, in CPP language is an somewhat higher language. Okay, somewhat higher language. For that purpose, we need another compiler. That compiler, for suppose Arduino C, while I am writing the code in Arduino C, just I need a compiler called C compiler. C compiler converts high level language into low level language. Okay, if you write the code in Java, we need Java compiler, okay, to convert it into hex file. Okay, okay, and if you write the code in any language, that must be converted into hex file by using one intermediate. That intermediate is called a compiler. Okay, uh, okay. Other than the actual compiler is the that cross compiler, depending upon the type of the programming language. Okay. That cross compiler included in the IDE converts it into corresponding processor or controller understandable format. Okay. If you are following an assembly language based programming concept, in the second method, you can use the utility supplied by the processor or controller vendors to convert that source code into hex file. Okay, and what is whatever the vendor, I mean Intel 8051 having different method to convert the high level language into or assembly language into machine language. Atmel has quite different. Texas having somewhat different procedure to convert the high level language into machine language, depending upon the type of the vendors, depending upon the type of the family, depending upon the type of microprocessor, depending on the type of microcontroller. Okay, there are several factors considered while converting high level language or low level language, I mean assembly language program into hex file format. Okay, all this is okay. Whatever I told you now, okay, all these are general concepts. Okay, see here, for a beginner in embedded software field, it is strongly recommended that use high level language based development techniques. Okay, only the low level language is okay. Program written in low level language. Okay, that much of capability only having the persons who have the expert in uh, understand the architecture level and instruction, deep level of understanding of the instructions of that microcontrollers or microprocessor. Okay, that's why for a beginner in the embedded software field, it is strongly recommended that use high level language based development techniques. Okay, the reasons for this, okay, akkade cheptunnattu chudandi, writing codes in high level language is much easy, as written high level language is highly portable, which means you can use the same code to run on different processors, different controllers with a little or less modification. While you are writing the code in assembly language program, if you write the code in C language, for suppose it takes just 10 lines, if you want to write the same code in assembly level language, okay, it takes around 40 to 50 lines. Okay, high level languages are more compact. Okay, high level languages are more compact than these high level languages are developed from that low level language. While during the conversion, it exactly converts into that low level language. How it is possible? Okay, already I told you in the earlier classes. Okay, for suppose 1011 is the machine code. Okay, and if I am writing the code in machine level language directly, okay, and if I know the entire architecture is developed by me only, okay, I know, okay, for addition operation, what is the machine code I have to enter, okay, along with that operands. Okay, but okay, but if you write the same code to execute the same instruction, okay, are you able to write the code for that addition? Is it possible? Do you know what is the command required for that addition with machine level language? Definitely you don't know that machine code. Okay, if I am assigning one, okay, group of alphabets to understand that machine language, 1011 is the machine code. That machine code is assigned to group of characters as ADD. Okay, instead of that 1011 and 1011, you are best understand ADD. What is meant by ADD? And to perform the addition, okay, just I give the command ADD instead of 1011 code. Okay, and if this ADD instruction is best understood by you, okay, that's why you are able to write the code with ADD, but you are unable to write the code with this machine code. Okay, add. Again, I am assigning that add with addition, ADDITION. Now it is best understand that addition. Okay, okay. Now I am writing the code for parity generation. Okay, only single machine code is not enough. I have to write a bunch of lines of machine code, which is used to generate parity. Okay, that bunch of instruction is considered as, I mean, is created as a one library. Okay, and give that library name as parity. Okay, and while writing the high level language program, just we call that parity name. Okay, while okay, just we call that parity. Okay, it internally recollects that bunch of instructions. Okay, and in machine level language it contains number of lines, but in high level language just a single line is enough, parity. That's why that high level language is somewhat easier than this low level language. Okay, that's why the persons who enter the software, I mean, embedded software field, okay, they always deals with high level languages instead of low level languages. Okay, if you are the best expert in the high level language, okay, then we go for low level languages. Okay, okay, that is the reason. The only thing you need to do here is recompile the program with the required process ID. Okay, just recompile the program. Okay, if you are the best programmer, okay, and you know C language, okay, your friend know Python, okay, uh, and another friend know Java, okay, you are able to write the code in your own languages, and you are the best in that language. Okay, and you have to write the code in any language, but to convert that into machine language we need that cross compilers. Okay, 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 that platforms are very different. That platform is called IDE, and for each language and each simulator. Okay, also the programs written in high level languages are not okay, not a developer dependent. Okay, it is completely independent. Okay, any skilled programmer can trace out the functionalities of the program just having a look into the program. Okay, అంతే కదా. ఇప్పుడు ఆల్రెడీ మీరు 1 or 2 ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ కాలేజీలో చేస్తున్నారు, తర్వాత మీ జూనియర్స్ ట్రైన్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఓకే, ట్రైన్ చేసినప్పుడు అక్కడ యాక్చువల్గా ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఏమైనా మిస్టేక్స్ వస్తే ఏం చేస్తున్నారు? విత్ ఇన్ యాక్చువల్గా మీరు లైన్ బై లైన్ చూసి మీరు ఆన్సర్ చేయగలుగుతున్నారు. ఓకే, దట్స్ ద పాయింట్ హియర్. ఓకే, it will be much easier if the source code contains necessary comments and documentation lines. Okay, that's why okay, while developing Arduino manual in our college, okay, it contains around 14 experiments and 14 projects: LED blinking, okay, motor interfacing, okay, um, PIR sensor interfacing, so many I mean around 14 applications are developed by your seniors. Okay, and write the code along with comments. Okay, and this instruction performs this operation, this instruction performs this operation, line by line code. Okay, this line performs this operation, this line performs this operation, this line performs this operation. Okay, it will be much easier for the source code content necessary comments. Okay, it is very easy to debug, and the overall system development time will be reduced to a greater extent. Okay, okay, అంటే యాక్చువల్లీ ఇప్పుడు మీరు డెవలప్ చేసిన ఆ మాన్యువల్ మీరు ఒక్కడే యూజ్ చేయరు కదా, ఇప్పుడు మీ జూనియర్స్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఓకే, మరి మీ జూనియర్స్కి ఈజీగా అర్థం కావాలంటే ఏం చేస్తారు? హౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ పాసిబుల్? ఓకే, మీరు ప్రతి పర్సన్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి మీరు చెప్పలేరు కదా. దట్స్ వై వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ రైట్ ద కామెంట్స్, ఓకే, beside that program, okay, and by performing all these documentation, okay, by performing all these experiments, okay, what are the common problems arised? Okay, so what అన్నిటిని ఏం చేస్తున్నారు? We have to collect all those frequently asked questions. Okay, and how you are start that program. Okay, how you are end that program. Okay, and all the necessary informations are collected as one documentation. That documentation is very useful for future purpose. Okay. So that is a very common practice. Okay, that must be followed by you. Okay, is very important. Okay, in future projects also. Uh, the embedded system software development process in assembly language is tedious and time consuming. Already you know. Okay, C language is very convenient than assembly language. Okay, assembly language requirement. Assembly language requirement end. We must know the instruction set. Okay. The developer needs to know about the instruction set of the processor or any controller. Okay, at least. Okay, and instead of by hurting, okay, the developer can carry the instruction set as a reference manual. The programmer using the assembly language technique writes a program according to okay, his or her view and taste. Okay. Different programmers having different styles. Okay. The programmer using the assembly language technique writes the program according to his taste. అయితే సిలో రాసుకుంటాడు లేకపోతే అసెంబ్లీ లాంగ్వేజ్ లో రాసుకుంటాడు సో అసెంబ్లీ లాంగ్వేజ్ లో మరి చాలా డిఫరెంట్ గా రాయొచ్చు ఓకే డిపెండింగ్ అపాన్ ది అంటే బెస్ట్ అండర్స్టాండబుల్ లెవెల్స్ ఆఫ్ ద ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ ఓకే often he may write he may writing method or functionality which can be achieved through a single instruction as an experienced person point of view by 2 or 3 instructions okay ఇదే చెప్పేది ఓకే అంటే ఒక ప్యారిటీ జనరేషన్ అని చెప్పాను కదా ప్యారిటీ జనరేషన్ కి I am best aware of those instructions okay I am able to write the code in just 2 lines okay అంటే what are the different instructions available అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఏం చేస్తారు ఒక ప్యారిటీ జనరేటర్ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయడానికి 2 AND gates 2 OR gates యూస్ చేసుకున్నారు ఓకే along with 2 NOT gates okay and for instance 2 AND gates 2 OR gates and 2 NOT gates you are using okay but that combination gives XOR or XNOR gate okay that's why ante instead of I am using that much number of instructions and or not instructions just I am using one XNOR instruction okay XNOR is used as a comparator okay when 0 0 output is 1 1 1 output is 0 okay or simply XOR operation as a direct parity okay XNOR with NOT gate or XOR directly okay and instead of using the 6 instructions just I am implemented the same parity with simple XOR gate and simple XOR instruction okay that is the difference between the person who export in low level languages and I mean assembly language and best programmer okay and the person who comes into the field newly okay? That is the point here it is very difficult for a second person to understand the code within assembly language even if it is well documented that's the problem okay I am write the code in assembly level language program okay and you didn't know okay what are the different instructions available for that machine I mean either microprocessor or microcontroller if you didn't know those instructions then how will you understand the code I am writing this assembly language program okay even I am commented each instruction okay the operation of this dad instruction is so and so okay the operation of this RET instruction is so and so even if it is documented okay but you are not aware of the instruction set you didn't understand this program That is a common problem with the assembly language. Okay. That's all about firmware. Next. Okay. Uh, this is not required, but listen once. We will discuss both approaches of embedded software development. Actually, inkoncham detail ga explain chestar next. The first type of controlling algorithm development is also known as infinite loop or super loop based approach, where the control flow runs. ఇంత అవసరం లేదా మీకు నెక్స్ట్ దాంట్లో క్లియర్ గా చూడొచ్చు మనం. Just leave it. Next, other system components. What are the other system components? Again, coming to second unit, other system components. Okay, other system components are additional reset circuits. Okay, this is for most important. Okay, these concepts are also well known. If you know the EDC, it's very easy. Okay, what are the other system components? Here, the other system components refers to, okay, the circuit components or ICs which are necessary for proper functioning of the embedded system. Okay, some of these circuits may be essential for the proper functioning of the processor or controller or for firmware execution. Okay, those are watchdog timer. Okay, second unit lo manaki last topics anamata ivi. Watchdog timer, reset, brownout production. It is very, very important, and this is a frequently asked question in interviews also. Brownout production circuit. Okay, I think most of you didn't know the brownout production. What is going to be brownout production? Okay. Examples of the circuits or ICs which are essential for the proper functioning of the processor or controllers. And EV general one. Okay. Some of the controllers or SOCs integrate these components within the single IC. Doesn't require such components externally connected to the chip. Okay. If all those components, okay, all the required components are within that IC, available within the IC, okay, no need to additionally connected. Okay. Depending upon the system requirement, the embedded system may include other integrated circuits for performing specific functions. Level translators, level translations means okay, logic levels. The following section explains the essential circuits, circuits for proper functioning of the processor or controller for embedded system. First one is the reset circuit. It must required for any microcontroller. Okay, and if any malfunction occurs during the program execution, okay, I want to stop the program, but how it is possible without reset? Okay, okay, these reset circuits may be individual or for the entire system. Okay. Okay, just consider one example. Okay, actually మన హౌస్ కన్సిడర్ చేసుకున్నాం. హౌస్, ఓకే, యాక్చువల్గా మన హౌస్లో ఏదో ఒక రూమ్లో షార్ట్ సర్క్యూట్ అయింది అంటే యాక్చువల్గా ఫైర్ స్టార్ట్ అయింది అనుకోండి, ఏం చేస్తారు? సింప్లీ ఆ పుట్ ఆఫ్ ద స్విచ్, మెయిన్స్ స్విచ్. ఓకే, ఏమవుతుంది? దట్ కంప్లీట్లీ ఐసోలేట్స్ ద మెయిన్ లైన్ ఫ్రమ్ హౌస్ లైన్. ఓకే, అంటే మొత్తం కరెంట్ ఫ్లోని కట్ చేస్తుంది. ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ఏ మాస్టర్ రీసెట్. ఓకే, ఫర్ సపోజ్ నేను ఈ ఒక్క పర్టికులర్ రూమ్లోని యాక్చువల్గా ఫైర్ స్టార్ట్ అయింది. ఓకే, సో ఈ ఒక్క రూమ్లోనే నాకు కరెంట్ తీయాలి, ఈ ఒక్క రూమ్లోనే పవర్ని స్టాప్ చేయాలి అనుకుంటున్నాను. అంటే ఏం చేస్తాను? ఇండివిజువల్ రూమ్స్ హ్యావింగ్ వాట్ ఆర్ దే ట్రిప్స్, ఐడియా ఉంటుంది కదా మీకు. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు యాక్చువల్గా మనకి ప్యారలల్ కనెక్షన్లో ఇండివిజువల్ రూమ్స్కి ఇస్తున్నారు. ఓకే, ఆటోమేటిక్ స్విచ్ అనమాట. ఓకే, ఆటోమేటిక్ స్విచ్ జనరల్గా అది అంటే if the power consumes more than that specified level, okay, ఇస్తాడు కదా వాడు 10 amperes 12 amperes 15 amperes అని. Okay, and if the short circuited or fire started, if the current consumption is very high, okay, then automatically it uh, stop the power flow here. Okay, then actually trips and don't. Okay, that is the individual reset. Okay, and a master reset and individual reset. Okay, అంటే ఫార్మల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ నేను స్టాప్ చేయడం కోసం యూజ్ చేసుకునే ఒక సర్క్యూట్ అనమాట, రీసెట్ సర్క్యూట్. హియర్ see here, the reset circuit is essentially to ensure the device is not operating at a voltage level where the device is not guaranteed to operate during the system power on. That is the matter. Okay, and so many examples are there to best understand this reset functionality. But I think you are best aware of the functionality of the reset. Okay. Reset circuit is essential to ensure the device is not operating at a voltage levels when the device is not guaranteed to operate during the power on. The power on అయ్యే ఉంది, but it doesn't meet the required functionality. సో ఏం చేస్తాను, రీసెట్ చేసి మళ్ళీ ఆన్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఓకే, అంటే ఏంటి అంటే నార్మల్గా జరుగుతున్న ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ని, అంటే అన్డిజైర్డ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ స్టాప్ చేయడం కోసం ఏం చేస్తాను, ఓకే, టెంపరీగా హాల్ట్ చేస్తాను చూసారా, దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ రీసెట్. Okay. That reset signal brings an internal registers of the different hardware systems of the processor or controllers or known state and starts with the firmware execution from the reset vector table. Okay, idanతా మీకు తెలిసిందే. అంటే for suppose we're performing some addition operation, or some division operation. We are performing some division operation. Suppose we're performing some division operation. Okay, during the division operation, denominator becomes 0. If the denominator becomes 0, it gives us the output of infinite. Infinite means how it will represent that infinite. Okay, at that time it has to terminate itself. Okay, but how we know? Okay, I want to best explain with one example of our classroom. Okay, while I am taking the class, actually ఇప్పుడు నేను క్లాస్ చెప్తున్నాను మీకు. ఇప్పుడు యాక్చువల్గా ఒక స్టూడెంట్ వచ్చి సార్ హెచ్ఓడి సార్ పిలిచారని చెప్పారు. అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాను నేను ఎక్కడివరకు అయితే లెసన్ చెప్పాను అక్కడ వరకు స్టాప్ చేసి, ఓకే, సార్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి సార్ చెప్పిన వర్క్ చూసుకుని మళ్ళీ వచ్చి నేను క్లాస్ రెజ్యూమ్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఓకే, సో మీరు అప్పటి వరకు క్లాస్ ఎంటీగా ఉంచుతానా, లేదు కదా, యాక్చువల్ ఇంకొక సార్ని పిలిచి నా ప్లేస్లో సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసి, ఓకే, అంటే డిసిప్లిన్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో, సో నేను వెళ్ళి నా వర్క్ చూసుకున్న తర్వాత వచ్చి నేను క్లాస్ కంటిన్యూ చేస్తాను సార్ని పంపి. ఓకే, అంటే ఒక సార్ నన్ను పిలిచినప్పుడు, అంటే హైయర్ అథారిటీ నన్ను పిలిచినప్పుడు నేను వాట్ ఐ పెర్ఫార్మ్డ్, ఓకే, అంటే వాట్ యాక్షన్స్ ఐ పెర్ఫార్మ్డ్. ఓకే, okay, and as a humans that is best understands to me only, but this is the machine. Okay, but how it understands, okay, what actions they want to perform. Okay, that is the main problem in such cases. Okay, what actions performed, okay, during their interruptions or during the reset. Okay, all those operations are listed in a separate memory locations as a vectors. Okay, that particular area is called that particular table is called vector table, interrupt vector table. Okay, and while I am pressing that reset button, okay, all the registers are cleared. Okay, program counter. What is the purpose of the program counter? Program counter always indicates which instruction is executed to be next. While I am pressing the reset button, okay, the program counter must be loaded with initial address. Okay, and what the programmer, okay, and the main developer, okay, the main developer assigns what is the initial address, okay, while starting the program. Understand? Okay, and what actions to be performed during this unexpected interrupts occur. Okay, that is the vector table. That is the table, okay, where you do so and so operation while interruption occurs, okay, while reset button is pressed. Okay, that is the point here. The reset signal brings the internal registers and different hardware systems or processor or controllers known state and starts from firmware execution from the reset vector. Okay, that's the point. Just now I explained here. Okay, normally from the vector address 0x0000 for conventional processor or controllers, the reset vector can be relocated to an address or address for processor or controller supporting bootloader. ఇదే చెప్పింది. ఓకే, యాక్చువల్గా చెప్పా కదా, అంటే డెవలపర్ ఏదైతే ఇచ్చాడో, ఓకే, ఆ డెవలపర్ చెప్పిన ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ ప్రకారమే అది జరుగుతుంది. The reset signal can be either active high or active low, whatever it may be, ఎలాగైనా ఉండొచ్చు. Okay, since the processor operation is synchronized to a clock signal, the reset pulse should be wide enough to give the time. Since the processor operation is synchronized to a signal, the reset pulse should be wide enough to give time for clock oscillator to stabilize before the internal reset state starts. Okay. Is it understand? Is it the processor or controller is the synchronous or asynchronous? Okay, they are always synchronous. Every operation must be synced with a clock. Okay, since the processor operation is synchronized with a clock signal, okay, and what I am performing here, just I am pressing the reset pulse. Okay, that reset pulse duration, okay, and actually నేను తీసుకున్న microcontroller ఒక reset button ఉంది. Okay, it performs very hard real-time application. It performs very hard real-time application. Okay, best examples, take our mobile. Okay, actually something class జరుగుతుంది. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు యాక్చువల్ నేను చెప్పిన క్లాస్ మీరు మొబైల్లోనే వింటున్నారు. ఓకే, ఫర్ సపోజ్, ఓకే, యాక్సిడెంటల్లీ యువర్ ఫింగర్ టచ్ విత్ యువర్ పవర్ బటన్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ మొబైల్. ఓకే, పవర్ బటన్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ మొబైల్. ఓకే, జస్ట్ మన ఫింగర్ టచ్ అయితే ఆగిపోయింది. ఓకే, ఈజ్ ఇట్ రైట్ ఆర్ రాంగ్? ఓకే, అండ్ బెస్ట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇస్ అవర్ మొబైల్ ఫోన్. ఓకే, అంటే జస్ట్ ఫింగర్ టచ్ అయితే ఆగిపోయింది అనుకోండి. ఓకే, అసలు ఇది కరెక్ట్ ఎంబెడెడ్ సిస్టమేనా? కాదు కదా. ఓకే, ఎలా ఉండాలి? ఓకే, ఇఫ్ యూ ప్రెస్ ద పవర్ బటన్, ఓకే, విత్ ఫ్యూ టైమ్ ఎలాప్స్. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ పుష్ బటన్ స్విచ్ ఇచ్చాడు, పవర్ బటన్. ఈ పుష్ బటన్ స్విచ్ ని న్యాచురల్గా ప్రెస్ చేసి పట్టుకోవాలి, అంతేనా? ప్రెస్ చేసి ఎంతసేపు ఉండాలి? ఓకే, విచ్ ఈస్ designed by that manufacturer. Okay, that is the point here. The reset signal to the processor can be applied at a power on through an external passive reset circuit comprising capacitor and resistor or through standard reset IC. Okay, idantha deni kosam? Okay, the reset pulse should be wide enough to give time for clock oscillators to stabilize before the internal reset starts. అంతే కదా. యాక్చువల్గా పుష్ బటన్ పట్టుకుని ప్రెస్ చేసి అలా ఉంచాను అంటే ఇంటర్నల్గా దానికి ఇంటిమేషన్ వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. ఓకే, పవర్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి ఆఫ్. సో ఇంటర్నల్గా అవన్నీ కూడా సెట్ అయిన తర్వాత పవర్ ఆఫ్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ ద పాయింట్. ఓకే, ఐ హోప్ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ దిస్ పాయింట్. ఓకే, సో ఎక్స్టర్నల్ రీసెట్ సర్క్యూట్ మస్ట్ కంటైన్ one timing circuit, that is the capacitor and resistor combination. Okay, that combination is available in the IC format as max 810. Okay, from Dallas. Okay, the reset IC based on the type of reset signal and logic level. And active low ఒకలా ఉంటుంది, active high ఒకలా ఉంటుంది. Okay, these are the common circuits. Okay, production circuit anamata, along with production circuit, that is called a freewheeling diode, ground. Okay, this is the combination resistor and capacitor. This is the timing circuit. Okay, this is the timing circuit. This is the reset pulse or active high. This is the one type, and for active low and active high signals. Okay, this is for active high, this is for active low. Okay, already you know, I think. In operation మీకు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయవలసిన లేదనుకుంటున్నాను నేను. Okay, you are best aware of all these RC components and diodes. Okay, just that is the freewheeling diode. Okay, this diode is connected to reverse bias. Already you know, under the reverse bias condition, diode it doesn't conduct, and it just only used as a production circuit. Okay, here is also same. Okay, that's all about reset circuit. Okay, చాలా ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ ఉంది కదా ఇది, అంటే మీరు వింటే ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ గానే ఉంటుంది, బట్ I don't know if you are listening or not. Yes, this is the today's class. I will continue on the next class.